What is up, guys? Ep.22 here, and welcome back to some more Katawa Shoujo. Last time we left off, Lilly went back home to Switzerland to meet with her family. And then we kind of just hung out. I mean, we were with Hanako for a little bit during class, and that was about it. I'm pretty sure nothing else too crazy happened last episode, just besides that. We also got the origami thing from Lilly as well. That she gave us as kind of a reminder and like a little precious thing that she gave us, which is pretty cool. And now we're talking to Mtau, who for some reason wants to speak to us. Nakai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner, he apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Eventually, I finished packing my things. By the time I reached his desk, the classroom was close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face before giving an awkward, rather obviously acted chuckle. No need to feel guilty. You're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something I've asked a few of the other students so far. That's something, at least. For a moment, I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So what did you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think of your progression in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I try to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the test than I thought I would. That's a good answer, or correct one, too. I give a mental sigh of release at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind after learning that I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me, once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What you'd like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it if you have. One sec, I'm moving my phone just in case it goes off. In this video, you don't hear it vibrate all over the table, because I tend to do that all the time. I suppose the last year of high school is the time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I haven't really lent in much thought compared to my immediate situation. Catching on to my thinking, Mtau speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided. After all, maybe pursue one of your talents? He's rather obvious trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. At a guess, our grades in our class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens, no doubt pleased with the thought of a prize student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you to think on it, though. I will. Things are kind of settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, and I've noticed that Ikazawa's attendance and grades have improved since you came to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gives a chuckle as awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful but misdirected choreography. You could say that having a general idea of who knows whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes off on a tangent, he loudly coughs into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do, though, so I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, so you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will. Thanks. The brief talk ended, I take my leave. He goes back to fussing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lilly, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. It's an idea so utterly irresponsible with my own thoughts, mirrored in the present day just as they've always been. Oh, and that's it. Alright. Walking through the lobby to the cafeteria, I silently rued my daily routine, having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day I arrived in class before most. Due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take a seat. It's a task made more difficult by the groups of students moving about and busily talking. Yeah! A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times, severely winding me. I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focus my thoughts on my chest in a near-automatic reaction. My hand incisively tightens on my breast. Then I start going through the steps I rehearsed in my mind every other day. Breathe steadily, in and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. Oh, it's Kenji. Hey, Matt, are you okay? God damn it, don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I get a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. I wasn't expecting it to be Kenji, to be honest. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being about anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing mainstream feminist fascist media. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Mtau and the other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class, and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it? Not even when you're bored, really? Well, fine, point taken. Both of us stopped to have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to the question that you asked a couple weeks back, where's Lily's non-Japanese half comes from, that is. Good, man. It's Russia, right? Totally Russian. Scotland. He's visibly stopped in his tracks. Scotland? Yeah, that was my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything. Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me? I think he's hyperventilating, passing out for a little, while would probably make him more relaxed than he is normal. I love it. He just like automatically panicked. He was just like, no, I can't do this. Sorry, I had to make a quick cut there. The cats were freaking bothering me. Again, I had to let the cat in. So you can relax now. But yeah, so we're gonna ignore his insane ramblings. I don't think we want to deal with this right now. I think it's in my food, hoping he'll take the hint from my silence. I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen. Damn, this is the worst day ever. No such luck. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom, and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong. So what did he think? German or something? Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Isn't that, like, $10? Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch. Wow. He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy, soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation. Why, Didn't your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of his food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decided to get the task of eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over. So as I was saying, why would I want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains, that's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains. And men in kilts. I'm not sure which is worse, the food or his worldview. I can feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that I'd notice or care. It's not that bad. Why do you think, why do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative after all. He has a malevolent chuckle. Where this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds. I finally found the chink in the what? I finally found the chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is going to be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? I tune out his rambling for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. I confirm that Lilly is in the Mafia. What? Alright, stay with me for a second here, and I'll describe the scene. I wish I could do otherwise. Lily's there, walking down the street after school. You're not stalking her, are you? No, damn, man, I do have some sense of self-preservation. But not dignity, or morals, or social standards. Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? A man in a pinstripe suit. Waves her in, then the two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection. A man in a... Oh, I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exploration. Let me guess. This man was about average height, had a slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned. I take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. It seems you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I have chosen well. He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically that it looks comical. Comical. I can't tell whether that's intentional or not, and that fact makes me frown. This has important ramifications, you know? If she really is connected to people like them, and we're smart about what we do with this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council. Once he starts rambling into conspiracy territory, my juice suddenly becomes much more of an importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lilly and her Words are hard. Like I said, English is a hard language. Lilly knows. Everyone else in this game knows it's a hard language. The past between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lilly around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. We were just like, later. Oh, Nakai? I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Mtau. He's holding out to me a couple of the worksheets we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikazawa? God, I wish you could just say Hanako. It's so much easier to pronounce. I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. For a moment, I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discarded the idea, though, as it's hard to think of him acting in such a machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just a simple cold. That said, she may not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lilly left, and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I suspect that she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. She might be actually like a little depressed that she's gone. Eventually I come to Hanako's dormitory room. It's simply brown door separating us. Her room position next to Lily is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. The door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is briefly taken off guard by my presence. Hi. I want to ask about Hanako. I want to see what's wrong. Because I'm kind of worried, actually. Like, what's up with her? Why is she not chilling? Actually, this may be a rather fortuitous meeting. Hey, excuse me, do you know if Hanako's come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering. Ikazawa is Ikazawa. Her not answering the door is totally normal. That tall foreign girl is the only person she'll ever talk to, after all. She gives a shrug before walking off down the hallway, having much more important matters to attend to than Hanako or me. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit. Her reputation doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem outright undeserved, at least in the time before we'd met. Trashing my head, I make one last attempt at Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Hanako, it's just me. Mtau said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under the door, though, I hear the handle rattling. Oh, she actually answered. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Mtau wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hands. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automation rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could get the nurse. It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. She's gotta be depressed about Lilly not being here. It's the only explanation! Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door after another of her unexplained absences from class. Damn, she's still not going to class? Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower, I decide to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll go get the nurse for you. Go away. What? It's hard to tell whether her tone's one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her, if she doesn't even want help? The message is clear, though. I can't just leave her like this, though. Just sitting in her room for days on end. Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationally, it's what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make matters worse. I dig around drawer after drawer on my desk, looking for where I put that damned piece of paper. Before she left, Lilly told me the number to call her on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. Now that I need it, though, the damn thing is... here. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I enter the numbers and anxiously press the call button. The fact the phone rings at all shows that I got the prefix for a call to Scotland right, at least. I had never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. Eventually, the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. Blank blank Satao blank English. Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says. Either due to my limited vocabulary or accent, I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on in the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Hisao Nakai speaking. In enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard, and she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Mrs. Satao. It's so nice to hear, It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Hello, Lily speaking. And we're gonna end off here. We're gonna cliffhanger, you guys. Sucker. Oh, no. Alright, but yeah, we're gonna end off here. I'm gonna cliffhanger it because I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's going on, but we're probably gonna talk to Lily and hopefully figure out something to help out Hanako. But yeah, so we're gonna leave off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to like button down below. So if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe to the channel for more of the Katawa Shoujo, the Minecrafts, and all that goodness stuff here on this channel. And yeah, that is it for me, guys. This is Ep.22, and I will see you all in the next video.